Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Nine's Wide World of Sports and our coverage of Monday Night Live football. Tonight's game should be a beauty. It's the final game of the round 2 of the Foundation Cup between the Warriors and the Double Blues. Both sides, of course, undefeated, so it should be an excellent game. Joining me now, former Norwood champion Neville Roberts. And Rocky, who wore number 22 in the early game for Sturt?
Yes, good evening, viewers. And Ken, you're right. Our sources tell us it was Paul McWilliam, who went to Essendon for a bit of a tryout and didn't make the list. There he is in your screen. And he's a rugged, strict defender, usually plays on half-back line, and that's a real bonus for the Double Blues and Coach Higgins.
Dick and Neville, that's a fantastic boost for the club because his form last year when he was playing was outstanding, really.
Well, it was, and as I said, he's a very rugged defender, and the Double Blues haven't got a lot of depth, and a player coming back with his sort of experience and form should help them out a fair bit. Well,
both sides are, in fact, on the ground. There's a bit of breeze down there. Let's check that with Mr. 1 to 10, Graham Campbell. Graham, what's the breeze like down there?
Can I ask you to introduce me in a different manner tonight?
Well, I'll do it again, folks. Former Fitzroy champion Graham Campbell.
No, I didn't really say that, folks. He was talking about Rocky being a forward Norwood champion, and it sounded good. Ken, in answer to your question, there is once again, it's almost par for the course, isn't it, that the wind favours the Lake End here at Football Park on these night series games. And I'd say the 3 to 4 goal again breeze favouring that end.
Well, Graham, who's your choice tonight? Well, both sides won their opening game.
Yes, I like the look of Woodville, Ken. They're an unchanged 22 from last week, which doesn't really happen very often in this series of football, but unchanged 22. And I think there's one change to the actual 18. I think you'll find young Harper will play on the... young Harper will play on the interchange bench tonight and be replaced by Ronnie Fuller as an opening 18 player.
And Graham, the defence of Woodville last week, when they were under a lot of pressure from the Eagles, they stood up pretty well. Lunn, Lynch, O'Dwyer, etc. They were really quite superb and I think really responsible for Woodville's win in the end.
Even Richard Champion, even though he probably loaded his colours over the entire night, kept fighting back and was a very productive player come the end of the night against Craig Nelson.
And Klug kicked 3. I talked to Russell Ebert during the week and he's that happy to have that man back on his side. It really does balance the Warriors.
Well, I think Klug and Jakovic complement each other. Jakovic, the live wire, running around, roving the falling ball, and Klug, the big, strong type of player at centre-half forward, which, quite frankly, Woodville missed badly last year. I think Woodville got a real chance of being a Final 5 side this year. That's a big statement, I know. But that's how I feel about them at this point in time. And I think they'll win tonight, Ken, in answer to your question. By 11 to 20, how do you like that?
Good on you, Graham.
Not 1 to 10.
You've changed your thought there. Well, let's have a look at the Double Blues line-up. And there you see the half-back line with Whittlesey, Bartlett and Sutterby. Now, Graham, of course, Bartlett started last week's game at full forward.
Yes, obviously, Coach Kevin Higgins is going to throw things around a little bit, and fair enough, so he should, to look at all the players in different positions. I don't like it, quite frankly. I'd rather see a kid like Bartlett be persevered with that full forward and give him a chance to earn his spurs in that position. But big Nuski, he kicked a few guys last year in the reserves, Ken, in one particular game, 7 to be precise, so he's a big chance down there also.
Good on you, Graham. Well, OK, the wind favouring the Lake End. Let's now take you to your commentator, Brian Cunningham.
And umpire Max Kazakria holding the ball aloft to start the final game in this second round Foundation Cup. In ruck, up high over the top was Newton trying to get the ball down. Into a pack of players it goes. The handball comes out. Radbone is in there working hard. Peter Schwarz, acting captain, gets the kick away, and he won the toss for Woodville, and they've elected, of course, to kick with that useful breeze toward the Lake End. The ball off hands toward Painter, always grab high, and that must be a free after disposal. Umpire David Elliott coming in. In fact, John Painter will take the free kick from centre wing. Erstwhile left footer, good pass, disposal, no better player in terms of disposal than John Painter. To half forward, to the full forward area, over the back of the pack it goes, the chance toward goal. Veal has put one through, had 4 last week, and that's his first tonight.
Well, good roving and crumbing of the pack, and Robert Veal kept his eye on the ball up high over the top. And missing the ball completely was Nuski, but left the opportunity. All the Warrior defenders went forward with Nuski. He took everyone under the ball, and reading it beautifully behind was Robert Veal. Look at all those Warrior defenders, 3, 4 of them all up around the pack, including O'Dwyer. And Veal scooped on the ball, put his first away, and the Blues first in the first 30 seconds of play.
Back in the middle, Newton versus Reynolds. The bounce down, thump away, taken by Sutterby into a pack of players. Lennon is there. The ball is being held to a Woodville player, and umpire Max Kazakria, who's officiating tonight with umpire David Elliott, will in fact bounce the football. Beautiful night for footy. The bounce goes down. Newton with the tap away towards DeBrenny. He lost the football. They're working hard in there. And in fact, it's a high tackle to Ronnie Fuller, one of the veterans of the Woodville side. He goes towards centre half forward. Pack forms off hands. A chance now for Williams. Has the football around his body. Did a brilliant, he marks at centre half forward. The Warriors into attack. Sturt 1 goal. Woodville yet to get onto the board. A long high kick by DeBrenny up towards full forward. It goes. A bit of pushing and shoving back there, but a fine mark has been taken by Darren Williams.
Good mark by Williams, but there was a bit of shoving and pushing there. The ball came over the back of the pack. That wind certainly is strong. Toward the half-back flank. Burke coming through strongly, puts the ball down, and the umpire, Max Kazakria, has seen the free kick. Push in the back. Quite obvious there. As he goes toward the centre wing. Off hands. Close to the boundary line. Whittlesey is there and takes the ball across the line. And interesting, Neville, to see Greg Whittlesey playing tonight, and he wasn't on the team sheet at the beginning.
No, he wasn't, and not that it's a bad thing having Greg Whittlesey, the captain, in the side, former Magarey medalist. And it appears that Tony McCarthy dropped out for one reason or another. Swars with the ball. Played well for the Warriors last week. Lunn, the constable from Henley Beach, goes towards the boundary line, out of bounds again. Only played 3 minutes of play, and this the final game in the second round of the Foundation Cup. And it's the Blues by one goal.
Throw in, aerial ping pong. Finally, it's the Warriors through Swords who come away with the football. Kicks towards centre half forward. Kluger, fine mark. Looks for someone to give the football to. Then decides to go to centre half forward. A wobbly old kick. Working hard in there is Painter. Got the handball out, but a smothered. A chance now for Williams. Can he pick up the football? He's being harassed. Will he get a free kick? No, he won't. He perhaps should have. He's working extremely hard. He really battled hard for that, but it's finally Walk coming out of defence for the Double Blues. A chance for Lennon. Will the ball sit for him? Supported on that occasion out wide to Burke. There's a chance now for Bartlett. The handball's away. Good movement by Bauer. Up towards half forward it goes. Thumped away. A chance now for Newton. Detman. Champion from centre wing. Both sides showing a bit of method at the moment. Towards half forward it goes. Kluger's there. Coming out as Walk. Not favoured by the bounce. Klug does it cleverly. Gets a handball away. There's a chance now for Williams into an open goal. Virtually blazes away. It's home.
Lovely work by Woodville as they went forward. Series of handballs. Klug was very fortunate. He got the ball away, but he had the bounce favouring him. The handball, a beautiful one across. Williams straight toward the goal front. Had no time to look at the goals, and a good footballer doesn't need it. Put it straight through the centre. The umpire didn't do any work at all moving for that one. So Woodville and Sturt locked away 1 goal apiece.
Score is locked away here at Football Park between the Warriors and the Double Blues. 1 goal apiece. In ruck. Reynolds gets it down. Through strongly was Painter. He's good with his hands, gets it to field playing on a wing. It's a little unusual for him. Williams again, he kicked their last and their first goal. To the full forward zone, Jakovic underneath the ball, quick to recover, goes to it first. Alongside of him is Darren Williams, possibly in the back. The commentator's call was heard on the ground, I'm sure. Umpires tonight are David Elliott and Max Kazakria. And there's an emergency Graham Hill, just in case they didn't get their appointment sheets. Jakovic tight in the pocket, number 18. Very accurate shot at goal. He likes to have a shot. It's looking a little more than he did last year for team players. He goes towards goal. It'll go close, but just to the right-hand side, the umpire tells us. So Woodville now move along to 7 points. They lead Sturt 6.
Almost 6 minutes into the first quarter of the final game of round 2 in the Foundation Cup. Comes towards centre wing off the side of the boot. There's maybe a free kick. It will be. Burke, a poor kick on that occasion, so a free kick will be taken by Turner. Centres the ball towards centre half forward. Beautifully put to Jakovic. That's good football. And Jakovic, a strong mark at centre half forward.
Really strong hands, Jakovic, and on the lead, he's very, very quick off the mark, and that was a good mark, but even better was the lead and the position of the kick.
I was impressed with Jakovic's first game against West Torrens. He was prepared to give the handball in the opening game, something that perhaps has been a criticism of his game. Waits now, he's about 45 metres from goal, going towards the lake end. The long kick, it'll get the distance, but it won't get the accuracy. It's offline. Sneaks in for a minor score. They go to 1-2-8. The Double Blues, one straight goal.
And again, Frank Burke with the ball, playing at full-back on Jakovic. Shaw's kicking it out is atrocious. Fielder's got it, though. Luckily for the Blues, and they come away toward the centre of the ground. Underneath the ball, thumped away from O'Keefe by Champion. Still working in hard was Clem. Coming through was Jolly. Couldn't take the ball with him. A pack of players form. And little Maxi Kazakria says, I'll bounce it. 1-2-8 points, Woodville. Sturt, 1 goal. And Kemper's a little frazzled, but Max will sort that out. 7.5 minutes played. Live at Football Park on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Coming through is Schwarz. Couldn't take the ball with him. Again, working through is Cronin, and oh gee, Neville caught holding the ball.
Yes, I think he made, despite the fact, just watch him here, he'll belt the ball a few times, and he tried to break the first tackle, and automatically, if he's caught, it's a free kick. The Warriors towards goal. Jakovic is first.
Jakovic coming around the body, and it's a nice shot for goal. The goal umpire had to move a little bit, but geez, clever. He gets the ball, he runs around, he's got that pace, and left or right foot, Jakovic puts it straight through the centre. Good goal.
Back at the centre, the Blues come away with the football through Painter. Beautifully put. That's a fantastic kick by Painter. Does not waste a kick. And there we see number 31, which is Radbone, taking the mark towards full foot. Oh, strong mark. That's a top mark for Kula. Real strong mark.
Gee, that's a big mark by Tricula. He's only 30 metres out from goal and running against the play, Ken. That was excellent.
Martin now with the mark on the outer side. Kicks a long ball towards centre wing. Oh, good mark on that occasion to Reynolds. His opening game was a little quiet. Let's hope he can produce his form tonight. Goes short to field at centre wing. Third about to go into attack. Kick number 3 for Field towards centre half forward, but it's all Woodville here through Lunn, who put in a belter of a game against West Torrens in the opening encounter. Alex Lunn, a fine defender. Towards centre half forward, looking for Klug. Thumped away by Bartlett. A chance now for Reynolds. He's a bit slow, but gets the football. Gets it out. That's good work by Williams. Sturt coming away with the ball again now through I, up towards centre half forward. Oh, Pack goes up high. The chance now for Radbone, and grabbed high, and he'll get a free kick. Radbone with a free kick at centre half forward.
David Elliott right on the spot, and the tackle was high. He goes wide to the lead. Nuski in front. He's got it in front too. Well put.
He made up his mind a long time before the ball came in, Bucky, that he was going to have a shot at that, and he ran about 30 yards to open a space. He's diagonally out from goal. It's the perfect spot on this ground to have a shot from goal. He did it well, Nuski. Led, demanded the footy and got it.
The wind is the problem for Graham Nuski. In he comes toward goal. He's made the distance, the accuracy too.
Well, he did it beautifully, and maybe he might be the answer there. He's a big man, took that ball well out in front on his chest, had plenty of time. That tells us that picture. And as I said, he got away out of the blocks very, very early in the piece, and wasn't short on pace for a big man. Very accurate kick, and we've seen the Double Blues succeed before with a big man in front of goalers and Rick Davies, and they certainly need someone to replace Ian Wilmot since his retirement.
Back in the middle. It's Woodville into attack towards Clem. Schwarz. Oh, here's a chance now for Klug. It sits beautifully for him. Going to get back onto his left foot. He hooks around the body towards Jakovic. Hits the post. Well, they say luck's a fortune in sport. Sadly, on that occasion, it deserted Klug. Gee whiz, his movement was excellent. Kick off towards the grandstand side. A better kick on this occasion by Beck. Looking for Leanett, who's just come onto the ground to replace Reynolds. He can't take the mark. Cooler is there. Now they start to move it through Fuller. Fuller with a long kick up towards full forward. It's offline again. So Woodville now advanced to 2-4-16. Sturt, 2 straight goals.
Yes, as Graham Campbell said, Ron Fuller coming into that half-forward flank. Phil Harper onto the bench. this evening. Fuller's done a couple of useful things. Would have been more useful had it been a goal. Big leap by McGowan, but illegally, according to umpire David Elliott. So Chris McGowan goes back to stand the mark. And John Klug has it again. He's about 45 metres out. He's moved pretty freely tonight and done some very, very useful things. With his third kick, he's gone for the short lead, and he's picked out Greg Whittlesey between two of his teammates at half forward.
He wouldn't be very happy with that. Just complimenting him on how well he finds space and how well he moves, but on that occasion, his disposal let him down. John Martin goes short. Finds Fulop at the true centre-half forward position. He's out of his range, so you want to get it in quickly, or Jakovic would want to find some space. He's going to put it in high. Garth Newton back there, so too Jakovic. His third kick gets high. They set themselves. Double Blues go up with the intentions of spoiling, Leonard in particular, and interfered with. Appeared to be Darren Williams from behind, possibly against Jakovic, and he'll take the free kick from fullback.
Williams favours the outer side, looking for Leonard. Behind his Swars, dumped away. Come beautifully by Whittlesey. Towards centre wing. Sutterby takes the mark at centre wing outer side. The Blues about to go into attack. He looks for options, kicks to the open space towards centre half forward. O'Keefe off hands. A chance for Lennon, can't pick up the football. Radbone ran past the footy. Deadman goes in again, a chance now for Veal. Can he kick his second? He has. Goal number 2.
Well, that was magnificent play by Radbone across to Veal. And we see it again here. Detman caught with it. The tackle was good by Lennon. In fact, it was Lennon who tapped it out. Radbone was there as well. And Veal has put through his second. Let's have a look at it again. That is real desperation. Radbone overran the ball, should I say. The tackle was great. The tap on, perfection. And Robbie Veal has 2 to his credit. Good work.
3 straight goals. The Double Blues, 18 points. They lead the Warriors 2-4-16. Entertaining game. Final game in round 2 at Football Park. The Double Blues and the Warriors. In ruck, Dracula. Over the top for Sturt. Doing pretty well was Lennon. Another bounce up. Matt Casacrea with the ball. David, his partner tonight, back in the centre of the ground. In they come. On that occasion, it was Dracula that got the knock. Clem couldn't take it. Fuller battles hard in there. Gets it out. Jolly, quick to his boot. Played well last week. Kick 2. Jakovic locked in arms with Burke. Doesn't like it, but umpire picked out a free kick. Yeah, hard to know.
When Jakovic gets behind like that, he really has trouble. His forte is getting in front, and from behind he really didn't have any chance. He hasn't got the height.
Lennon, the mark. Flanked by Whittlesey, runs around to Brenny. Towards centre wing he goes. Champion height. Couldn't take the mark. Painter. A handball over to Radbone. Radbone in towards full forward with a wobbly old kick, but good defensive work by O'Dwyer there. Thumps the ball out of play. And the boundary umpire caught behind the play. Will bring the ball back into the action. We've played 15 minutes into the first term. And it's the Double Blues by 2 points. O'Keefe, Dracula, been impressed with Dracula. Painter, a snapshot towards full forward. Nuski is there, can he take the mark? No, he can't. Good for minor score.
He should have, Ken. Should have taken that one, although it came in quickly and was rolling over with the right boot of John Painter, but still he should have taken it. Would have been a score, I'm sure. A goal, perhaps. Kick in. Has found big Garth Newton. He's at centre-half back, transfers the play wide to half-back flank. The acting captain, Peter Schwarz, goes wide, looking for Klug, puts it out in front of him. He's got to get there with a bit of pace. Walk gets there in front of him. The handball back to Bartlett was good. And young Bartlett short towards centre wing. O'Keefe is marked and perhaps should have gone back. He's played on, given Woodville the chance. Coming through with Schwarz. In their champion, heavy body work was good. Cronin, the handball away, looking for Jolly and finding him. Inboard to the centre of the ground, picked up by Turner. The short kick forward is good, and John Martin has taken it at centre-half forward. John Martin was a star last week. He's played on very quickly, puts it down toward the full forward area. That's off hands and through for a minor score.
Russell Ebert in your screen, contemplating the night's strategy. Wipes the brow, speaks to himself. Happens when you're coaching, they tell me. Talking to yourself and frowning a lot. Field virtually throws it out to give the opportunity to the Double Blues, but Peter Schwartz reads it well. Not as good with the pickup though. Lennon battles hard in there. Players pretty desperate. The standard of the game not bad. Pretty entertaining. And you're right, Bucky, in the background there, the female trainer in your screen. It's quite a common place now in league football, but you're right, Bucky. They weren't around when we were there. Jakovic gets it up beautifully. Caught with the ball to Brenny. Caught and caught well. And Greg Whittlesy's just telling him how well he was caught.
As you see it here, it's a great tackle. Whittlesey coming in. First tackler was McGowan. Back live at centre wing. Another free kick. This time to Cronin. Umpired David Leonard right on the spot. It's a good game of football and it's been well umpired. Cronin looking for options. A bit congested, the forward setup of the Warriors. Finally goes up towards the half-forward line. Oh, in went Jakovic, used his body. Walk. Painter. Bartlett. Moving the ball beautifully out of defence, the Double Blues. Over to McGowan. The loose player at centre wing here is Bauer. Ducked his head but got away with it. Over to O'Keefe. He has many options, goes up towards full forward. Looking for Nutsky there, having his arm held, not seen. Detman coming in for the Warriors, run past the football, picked up beautifully on that occasion by, oh, will it dribble through? No! Right on the goal boat, Mob, no, touched. Great desperate work there by Alex Lundbucky.
Surely was, and I like the way that Sturt moved it forward. Their handball was very precise and they had plenty of open space up forward and perhaps it deserved a goal. Though Dwyer kicks out long, using the breeze down towards centre half-back. Newton is there, couldn't mark the ball. Off hands to McGowan, to O'Keefe. Short across to Lennon, to Radbone. Radbone deep into the pocket. Nutsky is on the lead there. The hand up by Veal was no mark. A series of handballs ends up in the back pocket with Lunn. And that wasn't a good kick by Alex Lunn. He's done better than that in his time. And Shane Radbone takes the mark. And he's about 40 metres out, perhaps a little closer than that. With his fifth kick, he's been a live wire in this first quarter. It's a difficult angle. The breeze against him, puts it up. Now the breeze takes hold of it, right into the goal square. Big fly, stirred hands there, but no mark. Detman puts it through for a minor score.
And was caught, nowhere to go. And number 4 in your screen, Ian Detman does the defensive thing and handballs a point. 2-5-17. The Warriors trail Sturt 3-3-21. Garth Newton with the ball. Plays on through the centre of the ground. Cronin. He continues it. Grandstand side. Jolly decides to fly from behind against Lennon. Not the smart thing to do as Clem mops up. Chips around the corner. It's all the Warriors. Martin reads it better than anyone. Wants to go on with it. Gives it to Williams. Puts him under enormous pressure. He had to be the player's eyes and he just put him under too much pressure. Would have seen a Painter. In turn to Veal. Veal's kick is long towards half forward. Ball to ground. Lennon gets it out to Painter. He'll use it well, he always does. On a lead, Nutsky. That's the way it goes. Beautifully completed, the Blues.
You called that well, Rocky. He uses the ball superbly, John Painter. Never wastes a possession, John Painter. And he looked at his option there, and well done by John Painter.
Thanks, Ken. Didn't call him that well last week. Nothing I predicted came off last week. Nutsky. His second kick has one goal. Graham Campbell's pocket. That's his second, and the Double Blues fourth.
It is very impressive use of the ball there by Painter. And then a good mark by Nutsky, and he's converted pretty well. Lucky that he staged a free kick there, or tried to stage a free kick. But the important thing from Sturt's point of view is the fact that he kicked accurately, going towards the golf course in. And gee whiz, the method of this Double Blues side is very, very good indeed.
The margin 10 points in favour of the Double Blues, and into they go into attack again toward the full forward area, and that margin remains at 10 points at quarter time.
Yes, and they did it very well. Probably the difference in the side was Nutsky at full forward. Their ability to get into him and use him. He kicked two and really gave the Double Blues a start.
So at quarter time, it's the Double Blues 4-3-27, Woodville 2-5-17 on 9's Wide World of Sports.
Let the night roll on.
Certainly is a beautiful night here at Football Park, and at quarter time, Sturt doing it very well. 4 goals, 3-27. Lead the Warriors 2-5-17, a margin of 10 points. And their method was fantastic. The main goal kickers for the Double Blues, Veal and Nuski, have each kicked 2. And for the Warriors, Williams and Jakovic, 1 apiece. Graham Campbell, I thought the big difference between the two sides was the way that Sturt used the football. Their method was fantastic.
Ken, I think they're a spot quicker than Woodville at the moment. Blokes like Shane Bradburn and Chris McGowan have got grass-burning speed. And what's impressed me is the way that Big Nuski's finished his work off. You can't kick goals from that side of the ground. He doesn't know about that.
You better tell him, Graham.
He split the centre, Ken, and they'll post high those goals. Very impressive.
What about from Woodville's point of view? They wasted a couple of opportunities, particularly up forward, Graham. Klug in particular.
Well, John Klug really should never have gone short from that kick. I mean, it's showing a lack of faith in Alan Jakovic. I mean, Jakovic, OK, he's not a high mark of the ball, but he does give a great contest and rows the falling ball very well, instanced by the goal that he kicked on his left foot.
And I thought Whittlesley's game across that half-back flank, his tackling in particular, was absolutely fantastic and fierce.
A very steadying influence, Greg Whittlesey, Ken, and young Robert Veal's bobbed up with 2 goals again. Only 2 kicks, that's all he can do, 2 goals.
Well, Graham, his performances in the Foundation Cup have been outstanding in that forward pocket, and he gives Sturt another option up there, doesn't he?
Certainly does, Ken. No, Sturt are looking good at the moment. The old kiss of death said Woodville. I don't know about that right now, but you never know.
Well, of course, Graham, Woodville had use of the breeze. What's it worth, do you think, down there?
I say 3 to 4 goals, Ken. I'll still stand by that. Although you never know. What they've got to do is do what Sturt did. Work the ball into the breeze. Don't try and kick too far, and just to share the ball around.
So if we're line ball here, then Sturt should take a big lead at half-time.
Well, they should have a very handy lead, Ken, yes.
OK, thanks, Graham. And there's Kevin Higgins, of course, the Sturt coach. He'd be a pretty happy man with their first quarter, and he's a very impressive character to talk to, loves his football, and he's certainly revamping this Sturt side. Let's now take you to your commentator, Neville Roberts.
Thanks, Ken. About to start the second quarter of the last game in the second round of the Foundation Cup. A rich purse of some $30,000 going to the winners. And the Double Blues off to a good start. So to the Warriors. 27 plays, 17, 10-point advantage to the Double Blues.
David Elliott puts the ball down. They set themselves up. They go. Tricoola, in fact, got the tap, and Garth Newton resting in that forward area now, giving the big fellow his chance in ruck. McGowan caught with it. Bartlett, the handball out was good. Field across to Whittlesey, whose tackling in that first quarter was absolutely superb. Sutterby toward half forward. Defence is good with Cronin coming away to Schwarz, and Schwarz wide toward Williams on centre wing. Took his eye off the ball as he tried to get around to judge the flight of it. And I think he's tackled David Walker as well, but the umpire didn't see that, and he'll throw it in on the boundary line.
Bucky, that was a free kick to David Walker, for goodness sake.
Well, again, you've got to say, Ken, that the umpire may well have been in the wrong position. It misplaced. From our view here, certainly it was a free, but he was a good 10 metres the other side of it. Sturt again with handball. Painter wide and close to that boundary line. Sutterby can't keep it in play.
27 plays, 17. In your screen, Simon Sutterby from Newton, utility player. He's played a few games for Geelong reserves. Clem, free kicked, half back. A little rover, second kick only. Grandstand side, he punches it from behind. Reynolds nearly took it in those big hands of his, but couldn't quite manage it. And we'll have a throw in. Just in the diametric centre of the ground in your screen. Reynolds again. Does battle against Tricoola. Gets it down, Reynolds to Painter. 7th kick towards half forward. Beautifully crumbed on that occasion by Darren Bauer. His kick is not well directed. I think he was expecting Nuski to be in front, but O'Dwyer read it beautifully. Detman comes away from the back pocket, picking up the Rovers tonight. Goes short, puts it beautifully and finds Klug. Playing up from half forward. He plays on. Has Jolly. Gets it out to Cronin on his left foot. He likes to get back on it. Goes long towards half forward. In front, doing it beautifully was Newton. Strong grab, under a lot of pressure. Big hands came out and he wrapped it up on Lee Jakovic. Now he drops back. Sets himself. Reynolds gets back to help out. Gets a fist to it. Quickly off the boot was Turner, but not far enough for just the single. 2 goals, 6-18. The Warriors, they trail Sturt 4-3-27.
Turner read that pretty well off hands, but couldn't convert. Sadly, the Warriors, who are going towards the golf course in this quarter. Burke looking for options up the ground, looking for Reynolds. With him is Schwarz. Goes towards Reynolds. Tricoola is there. Ball thumped away. Whittlesey, gee whiz. Beautiful use of the football to Lennon. playing a superb game. Whittlesey up towards half forward. Detman is there. He can't take the mark. Player's working hard into the pocket. It goes, and it may in fact go out of play. It does, as Ville takes the ball out of play in the forward pocket. Live from Football Park on Nine's Wide World of Sports. The big clash tonight. The Warriors taking on the Double Blues. See the O'Keefe and Fakula as using their body. The champion ran past the football. A chance for Field. He did the same thing, exactly the same thing. O'Keefe picks up the ball, has an area. It's fierce tackling out there at the moment. John Martin comes in, and umpire Max Kazakria will call for a bounce.
It's only 20 metres out from goal. This time it's the Sturt goal. The chance now for McGowan. Reads it well, snaps back, puts it through.
Chris McGowan with his second kick, made no mistake about that. Watch him as he runs alongside the pack. Probably not the best place to do his crumbing from, but he summed it up himself, said that was the place to be, and that came from a Warrior hand. So he obviously had a look at them, knew they would go to the defensive side. Indeed they did, came towards the boundary line. He was there and snapped truly for his first.
Sturt taking a lead here, 5-3 to 2-6. Down goes the bounce. Reynolds taken by a high kick. The Blues into attack again. Gee whiz, they look impressive tonight. Almost a mark to O'Keefe, not taken, but does it well off the ground. Goes over towards Payne. It's a good handball. Payne around his body, a high kick. Normally a very accurate kick for goal, but under enormous amount of pressure, John Painter, and the ball goes out of play on the full. But they look a very good side, the Blues, tonight. They really do. Back towards the half-back flank. Field is there, but a free kick has been paid, and it's Jolly. Jolly goes to Cronin, back to Jolly again. The Warriors working the ball out of defence. A shocking handball by Jolly. Gave the ball away. A chance now for Field. In towards the goal. It goes straight to the bench. That's shocking football by Woodville.
Well, there's not more you can say about it than that. It is not good football when you give it away so easily. The handball came across from Jolly. He was looking for a couple of Woodville players, speared it straight to John Painter, to Veal, and straight through. And that really breaks the heart of a side when the ball is got so easily and put through for a goal.
The Double Blues, 6-3-39. They lead Woodville 2-6-19. They have to do something. The Warriors, Reynolds gets the tap down. John Martin gets it out. Battles hard. Trakula to Jolly. Jolly in turn to De Brenny. Whittlesey misses the tackle. Beautifully run by De Brenny on his left foot. A little wide, but underneath it, Newton having a real effect on the game in the forward line. Chips across goal. The kick isn't good. Whittlesey again. Oh, he's having a field night, Whittlesey. Tony McCarthy withdrew, and that's his 9th touch. Came in the side late, through the centre of the ground, but the kick's not good. Trakula takes a nice mark, well timed. The big fella pushes it back in. Long. Reynolds in front from behind Newton. Crum from off the ground was Klug, did it beautifully. Giving Turner an opportunity, but the little fella can't manage it out of bounds forward pocket. 6 minutes into the second quarter.
The Warriors giving the football away and wasting opportunities. Sturt lead by 21 points. 6.5 minutes into the second term. Over the top went Klug. A chance for Whittlesey. He'll be a tired man tonight. To Painter. To Bartlett. Bartlett with a kick towards centre wing. Detman in front. Detman did it well on that occasion. Goes to Trakula. Trakula out wide. Cronin was the player. Too slow to get rid of the football. Gee, they're messing about. Back towards Jolly. Now, what can Jolly do? He's flanked by Detman. Detman from centre wing. The Warriors into attack. That's better use of the football to Ron Fuller. Over the top, Ron Fuller goes to Klug. Now, Klug with the mark. There's Woodville players loose in the centre half forward area. De Brenny and Clem were loose. But Klug wisely is going back to have a shot for goal, and goals they need at the moment. Kick number 4 for John Klug. Yet to boot a goal. Whittlesey on the mark. The kick's on its way. Has it got the distance? No. Into the square it goes. Off hands. It could be a goal to Jakovic. It is. Jakovic a goal.
Well, Jakovic behind. Klug takes the mark, and he puts the ball in long, but it really wasn't going to be a goal at all if the defensive work of Sturt was good. And as we look at it here, a couple of blokes up. Reynolds had his hands at it, should have perhaps been protected from behind. And so Jakovic an easy goal.
Jakovic with his second goal improves the score line for the Warriors. 3-6-24. They trail the Double Blues 6-3-39. Max Kazakria calls the ball back, as he's the right to do. Not happy with the bounce. Time off. Start the quarter again. Right behind him, number 2, is young Darren Clem. Trakula gets the knock. De Brenny overruns the ball, walking to screen 13. It's with Lennon, though, on his wrong foot. That's his left foot. Nicely stopped by Cronin. He read that well. It sat up for him. The kick is beautifully disposed to Turner. He has a look. Klug in space. He always does that. He chips it back around the corner. Did not look at all, and that is poor. Conversely, at the other end of the ground, the Double Blues are really having a look with their forwards and giving them every opportunity. On that occasion, Klug made it real hard for the Warrior defence. Bauer tries to get through the pack. He's clipped high and will receive a free kick on your screen.
He ducks the head here and copped a high tackle from John Martins. Or John Martin, should I say. Taken by Walk. Up towards half forward. Chance for Painter. Flanked by Sotheby. Here's a chance for the Blues into an open goal. The kick's on its way. It's home.
Simon Sotheby reading the ball well. So we have a look again. It's John Painter. He's very slick with the hands. John Painter, 14 touches across to Simon Sotheby. The Newtown utility and Geelong's reserve player put it through. A running goal with the breeze behind him. And that'll do his confidence the world of good. Great kick. Well done.
Quick response by Sotheby. Jakovic goal at the other end. Takes Sturt to 7-3-45 over Woodville 3-6-24. Underneath the ball, taking it very clearly is Williams. Plays on. Can't do that. It's Alexander, in fact, on the ground. Try and pick up who he's replaced, and he's Mike Palonga Rover. Spends most of his time at half forward. Half back at the moment, though. He might, in fact, be on the ball as he goes high. Champion into the back of Cronin, not picked up. He goes to Lund. Through the centre of the ground was a lot of opportunities. He didn't take them. Went for wide to Turner. Painter will clean up here. Caught high. It's seen, and he's too much experience to waste that opportunity, John Painter. As soon as he was touched high, he made sure the umpire's seen it. And the veteran with his 9th kick. A master of skills. Nuski on a lead, and that's the difference between the two sides at the moment. The good hands and feet of John Painter and the smart, precise leading of number 32, Graham Nuski.
Yes, a good mark on that occasion. That's his 3rd mark. He's already booted 2 goals. Fantastic performance.
And it's been a while since I've seen this sort of method in the Double Blues forward line. They look very good coming in. A little bit of system. Nuski make it his 3rd, just a little offline. So 7-4, the Double Blues 46, Woodville 3-6-24.
Woodville are very, very indirect tonight. They're going from one side of the ground to the other instead of going right straight down the middle, wasting opportunities. The kickoff comes towards the grandstand side, looking for big Garth Newton. Over the top went Nuski, but the crumbs tapped it out. But chance now for Sotheby. Lund couldn't handle the football. Sotheby can. A chance for Alexander. Back towards centre half forward. Beautifully put. Lennon. And he's playing a perler in the middle tonight, Lennon. His 8th possession. Kevin Higgins believes that he's a player that can play anywhere on the ground. Lennon kicks a long ball. Will it get the distance? Great goal to Lennon.
Well, you said at KG, they placed the ball so well. Bruce Lennon, and the kick across from Alexander was perfect. Lennon didn't really have to do much at all. Just had to shield his eyes a little bit from the glare of the lights. But the kick from that position, he's 50 metres out, and made the distance easily with the breeze. That's the way to go. Direct, long, straight at the goals when you've got the breeze. And that's the way the lead is. 52 plays 24.
Taking the centre of the ground. Lean it to take on Newton. Higgins changing his rucks off the bench. Mr. Brenny tries to stop Field on his way through. It's Alexander again. He's had a lot of touches. Third touch since being on the ground. He's only been on the ground 10 minutes, so Dwyer will be first to it. Tries to take it to the boundary line. He's been under a lot of pressure. O'Dwyer tonight. And there's Darren Bauer, who's on the bench and just come off the ground to allow young Stephen Alexander to come on, the boy from Maipalonga. Around the corner. 32 is John Martin. There's a look at slow motion replay up there as Garth Newton pushes it on his left foot. A little bit rattled at the moment, the Warriors, under a lot of pressure from the Double Blues, who have got possession of the ball. They're using it well, and that's how they're putting pressure on them. When you've got possession, you don't need to be doing much else. Up over the top was Nuski almost again. They clean up. Schwarz to Martin. Has a look, the wingman. Goes towards centre half forward. Out on a lead, a long way up the ground was Jakovic. Beautifully cleaned up again was Alexander. Smothered off the boot, he'll get another try. Fifth touch. Beautifully done through the centre to Eye. On a lead. Nuski didn't take it. Radbone overran it. Sutherland. Cronin in there. And David Elliott will ball up.
Umpire David Elliott there among the players. And certainly Sturt's movement and use of the football is excellent. It really is outstanding. Bounce down. Newton. Ayers working hard. O'Keefe kicked by Newton towards the boundary line. McGowan will get there first. He's like a hare. Could he cover the ground? Hooks it back. In fact, the free kick has been paid in the interim. It'll go the way of Woodville. And it's Alex Lunn, their defender, against Eye. Handball is a poor one. Shocking handball. Put the player under all sorts of pressure. It was Schwarz towards centre wing. A great mark to Leonard. Leonard at centre wing will put the Blues back into attack. They're playing with a great deal of confidence tonight. The wobbly old kick. And the mark has been taken by Lunn. Lunn comes towards Fuller. Ball by McGowan, but a high tackle, says umpire Elliott. And Ron Fuller will in fact take the free kick. McGowan's not all that impressed. Fuller is. He'll use the handball. Deppin out of defence. Centre wing, Clemmer's there, hesitant. Players working hard. There's Gribble. Clem did it well in the end. John Martin, who's playing pretty well tonight. Go the football to Jolly. Jolly around his body up to the forward pocket it goes. Thumped away on that occasion by Burke and the ball out of play.
Yes, Burke, John Burke, is Frank Burke, should I say. Very solid in defence in that fullback position. Sturt leading by 28 points. And we've played almost 15.5 minutes of this second quarter. Clem over the top of the ball, trying to work it out. And certainly, Woodville have been indirect going forward. And I think, Ken, you said they were hesitant, and that's been their problem. Going wide around the flanks and not much method in the game. But Coach Russell Ebert will certainly say something about that at half-time, I'm sure. In there, Schwarz, still working hard, trying to get the ball out. Tracula over the top. Eye taps it back. Picked up by Newton. The long handball across. Heaps of strife there. Lennon. Field. Umpire's seen a free kick eventually. And Bruce Lennon on the bottom of the pack is the recipient. He's on backward side of centre wing. Puts the ball into the centre. Picked up by Bartlett. The handball across, running through Whittlesea. Can he get it up? Yes. The handball off wasn't all that good. Burke is well down ground from his full-back position. Looks across. The handball wasn't good. Comes back towards Burke again. And he puts the ball towards centre wing. David Eye is there. The handball across. The run provided. McGowan toward goal. And he's hooked it and he's put it right up toward the goal. He's put it through.
Well, a beautiful bit of play by the Double Blues. Really started at half-back with Whittlesea, and they managed to get the ball across the grandstand side. They went to that outer wing from half-back, then across to the grandstand side commentary position, and McGowan put himself in the beautiful position forward of the play. His third kick, his second goal, and it's players like him that are making life very difficult for the Warriors.
Sturt going into attack again once more through McGowan. No, Timmy kicked two in a row. No, he won it full short. Thumped away by O'Dwyer. It's home again. It's raining goals here for the Double Blues. They are playing superb football, Bucky.
Oh, Mark O'Keefe read it off the back of the pack beautifully. came through. The goal was easy in the end, but it's the reading of the play. As the two players contested, that was a good contest. O'Dwyer just couldn't control, and O'Keefe, there was nothing that Detman could do at all. And the former Warrnambool centre-half forward, also Geelong's reserve player, puts it through for his first goal. The margin, a clear 40 points, and we've played almost 18 minutes into this second quarter. Things not looking good for the Warriors at this stage.
Russell Ebert wouldn't have budgeted for a 40-point margin. It's a 17-minute mark into the second quarter, and I don't think many people would have predicted such a margin. What a closer encounter. Can they come back, the Warriors? They'll certainly be told about it at half-time. Just not going with the run and of the Double Blues, and certainly haven't got the hands and skills at the moment. Can they improve? McDonald. Good to Jolly, running around in circles. Back to Lund. They open some space for themselves. That's a little better. They go to Schwartz, set up the loose man, trying too hard to force some of their players rather than just getting boot to ball, maybe. Williams, he'll push it across the centre of the ground, and underneath it, Fuller. Pretty experienced player, Fuller. This will be his fifth kick. Played 175 games for the Warriors. 176 tonight. He puts it out in front of the big fella in Newton. A bit short of that player. Lennon there, caught with a footy. That's nearly holding the ball. Not quite, says David Elliott. You held it to him. I'll have a bounce. We've played 18 minutes, nearly 19 minutes of the second quarter.
And it's all the Double Blues. Bounce. Dolly the tackler. Ball being held. Disturbed player, Kevin Higgins there. Still not smiling. Bounce down. Leonard goes up high. Bradburn run past the football. Klug up towards Jakovic. Breaks the tackle. Great pace, kicks towards goal. Oh, that's a no. Hit the post. Just scraped the inside of the post. It looked home for a moment. That's the goal that the Warriors wanted. He's kicked 2 goals, 3, Jakovic.
Yes, he certainly looks good with his 5 kicks up at full forward. Once he gets the ball, it's always very close to. That's a good mark by Stuart Totham. Coming up toward the 20-minute mark of this quarter, almost the end. Down toward the forward pocket again. Jakovic has got it. Have they time? Looking for Fuller. Oh, the handball was over the top of his head. Couldn't get it. Alexander working through. The tap out, leaned over the top of the ball. Coming through was Gribble. The handball wide. Puts it out in front of Wilsey. Paddles it forward. Superb work by Whittlesey again. Sotheby across to Radbone, to Painter. Painter will have a look, put the ball out towards centre-half forward. The chance for O'Keefe, couldn't quite get there, and Champion stifles it. It's about 45 metres out from the Sturt goal.
John Painter featuring well for the Double Blues with his 10th kick of the evening. What a player. Kazakria puts it down. Trakula hits it straight to Painter. The veteran goes towards goal. Won't get a bounce. It read it beautifully off the pack. Woodville, in fact, got the knock through Trakula. The old fella, he read it beautifully off hands. Couldn't quite get his left boot to it. 1 point.
Yeah, he's a fine player, Johnny Painter. Uses the ball magnificently. And there's the siren. At half-time, it's Sturt by 40 points.
Certainly Sturt's second quarter again. They kicked 10-5, as you can see. They had 4-3, so 6 goals in that quarter with the breeze. A fine effort and a lot of work for Woodville to do to come back.
You're right, there is, and I don't think they can match the skills of Sturt at the moment. There's the score, the Double Blues. 10-5-65, Woodville 3-7-25. Stay with us. We'll be back with more action on Nine's Wide World of Sports after the break.
And welcome back to Football Park, and there you see the scoreline of the half-time with the Double Blues. A very good performance, 10 goals, 5-65, 40 points in front of the Warriors, 3-7-25. A very impressive performance. The main goal kickers for the Blues, Ville 3, 2 each to Nuski and McGowan, and for the Warriors, Jakovic has booted 2. Joining me now, of course, the chief football writer for the Advertiser, Ashley Porter. Ashley, you went to Balhoney yesterday to see the Norwood Centrals game. How impressive were Norwood?
Norwood was very impressive. March form can always be misleading, Ken.
It can be, yes.
March premiers are no good. But Norwood, they're such a big side, and they got the pace around the ground. and they've got the experience. And Norwood won yesterday without Andrew Jarman, Michael Aish, and a number of other players, Pittman, who will play next week. And I can't see many sides troubling Norwood this year. They're very impressive.
Well, obviously some of the new boys stood out too. Guys like James, Halfpenny and Prowse.
Well, Prowse, full back, he did a wonderful job on Rudy Manamaker. I'm not sure what's wrong with Rudy, but I don't think his attitude is quite there. And young James, he joins two other players, Greg Turnbull and Gary McIntosh, coming from the under-17s to senior ranks. And both times, Norwood won the premiership, so he is. So you never know.
And Ashley, I see with Doug Smart playing for Norwood, kicked 4 goals. His form must have been a lot better yesterday.
Sensational. He kicked
Was
four.
it really? Sensational?
It was. He took some top marks, but he kicked 4 goals. 2 of them were on the run, working hard for the ball.
Right.
He just didn't rely on those marks. And I still got this feeling that Doug Smart may have more effect on Norwood than Andrew Jarman this season.
You're joking. Why do you say that?
Well, Andrew Jarman is a sensational player, and use that word again, I'm sorry, but that's all I can think of when you talk about Norwood. But I think Norwood has still got those round-the-ground players like Andrew Jarman, but Smart is a player that Norwood really needed. They needed a good player up forward, and he's providing that avenue.
Well, Ashley, Neil Curley, of course, made the point that he wants more commitment from the Dogs. They're searching Australia for a big man. Was there a lack of commitment yesterday, and also do they need a big man?
Well, I think the first half, Central District was very competitive, but they faded dramatically. I don't think the fitness is that good. Grant Coffey's, he worked very hard, but basically I don't think enough Central players going hard enough for the ball. There were a couple of times when I thought that players shirked the issues. Norwood didn't. They just went in hard, very hard.
Gee, Ashley, that's a big comment from a side being coached by Neil Curley. They lacked commitment and didn't go in hard enough.
Well, I think Neil Curley would agree that they need to be a little bit tougher all around the ground. You've got a player like Greg Smith, who first game yesterday, a bit underdone because of injury problems, but he worked hard on the ball when he went on in the second half and gave Tom Warhurst a beautiful hip and shoulder bump and put him out of the game. But there's not enough players like Greg Smith.
That was Smart then, of course, beating one of his 4 goals. Stephen Swert, who's been wooed by the AFL sides.
Well, on his performance yesterday, I don't think he will go to Perth. I don't think they'll take him. A very disappointing effort by Stephen, but he can play a lot better, obviously.
What about McIntosh? They tell me that that McIntosh has never been fitter in his life.
I've never seen him fitter, and also I've never seen him kick longer. Last year, McIntosh was always ready for the handball and kicked short.
Here he is now, the handball.
Right. Well, he just made a liar of me, didn't he? Again. But McIntosh kicked very long yesterday for him.
What about the Rovers for the Dogs? 2 new Rovers, and Ghazi and also Lynn, the boy from Brisbane.
I thought Ghazi played better yesterday than he did last week, but Lynn I'm still not sure of. Very good players, but I'm not sure whether they are the answer. What Central really needs are big blokes, lots of them.
Well, actually, the impressions I get from you is the fact that the Dogs may have a disappointing year.
Well,
honestly,
I know March form can be a little bit misleading. Central started slowly last year and then came good towards approaching the finals. But looking at this side, I think they still lack height and strength, and at the moment they lack a bit of vigour, and they're a little bit unfit at this stage, so you cannot be too harsh on them at this stage.
The other side of the ledger, you're very impressed with Norwood.
Oh, most impressive. You know, when they got so many players to select from, other clubs would kill for.
And I liked your article this morning referring to the Foundation Cup as a Mickey Mouse competition.
Oh, I think
strong comments, Ashley?
They were, and I didn't mention that they didn't provide the programs for the Southwest game until quarter time.
OK, well, let's look at the results of the Foundation Cup round 2, the games played so far. Tyrone good winners there over North Adelaide. And how can you pick winners when you look at Tyrone's performance the other night? It was fantastic.
Well, I always follow your tips, Ken. I've only picked one so far.
Thank you, Ashley. Port defeated Glenelg, South too good for West Adelaide, the Richmond Oval, and of course Norwood yesterday at Balhanna. And looking ahead on Friday night, 7:30 on 9, West Adelaide versus Norwood, and the late game, the Tigers taking on the Eagles. We'll come back with more footy right after the break. And welcome back to headquarters. The prize money in the Foundation Cup. First prize, a handsome one there, $30,000. And so it goes down to second prize, $20,000, third $15,000, and fourth $10,000. Certainly not to be sneezed at, that prize money, the way football clubs are financially situated today. That's the prize money. Never Roberts looking at the game up until half time. Gee whiz, it's like chalk and cheese. Sturt have used the ball superbly.
Well, they have. Their hands have been beautiful. None better than John Painter. He's a bit of a favourite of mine, but he just keeps getting better like good red wine. And he's set up players a lot of times, but all the Sturt players have been pretty crisp. And more particularly, Ken, when they've gone into their forward line, they've had some system and some method, and I haven't seen that at Unley for some time.
What about the actual use of the ball by Woodville? They they have zigzagged across the ground tonight for some unknown reason.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with the Warriors tonight. I expected them to be a little bit better. Their form last week against West Torrens was pretty good, and they looked pretty good. Their hands weren't too bad, although there were a few mistakes in that game. But under pressure, and the pressure's just come from Sturt with their use of the ball, they have failed. And if they have to rectify anything, it's being able to handle a bit of pressure.
Have you been impressed with Sturt's full forward Nuski?
Yeah, well, it's an unusual player to have at full forward, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've seen some big men at full forward for Sturt over the years in Rick Davies and more lately Ian Wilmot. And it's not so much how big or how quick you are, it's just how well you set up at full forward. And where he's running to that spot, you watch him tonight for the rest of the replay tonight at home. He'll go out on about a 45-degree angle. He'll take the ball about 30 metres from goal, and that's no accident, I can tell you.
Well, Rocky, talking about big men, what about Woodville's new recruit, Trakula? Have you seen his game?
Yeah, he's looking a little bit more comfortable with the environment tonight. Last week he was just finding his feet, but there he is. He's a strapping athlete. He's pretty
boy,
tall.
isn't he?
Yeah, he can play in the ruck, and well, they've got him, Klug, Newton, some big men around the place, and it should give them a bit of confidence.
Actually, last year a player that the Sturt side missed was, of course, McGowan, who had those hamstring problems, and his pace on occasion has been magnificent.
Well, he's gave DeBrenny the slip a few times. There he kicks a magnificent goal. Just read it beautifully off the pack. Picked the Woodville players going to the defensive side. There they are. He picked it beautifully. That's where they had to hit the ball. And once again, that's probably Higgins telling them, educating them, that's where they've got to go. Be there, get the crumb. There he was, and he got it.
Well done, Rock. Coach's pep talk then. I'm getting excited here.
You are? You get a bit of a tingle on the spine, aren't you?
What about the big bloke Leonard? An important player to the Double Blues.
Well, he is. Reynolds, they're changing their rucks off the bench, and that's a pretty nice thing to be doing. Makes life pretty comfortable for both those players. There he is taking a big mark. They're losing Kikski, a little bit short of big men, but a lot of pressure on Leonard and Reynolds this year.
Well, Woodville have to do something to get back into this game, Rocky, don't they?
Well, they do. If they've got to do anything, it's one thing they've got to do is get some numbers around the ball, play with a little bit more confidence, stop worrying about Sturt having possession of the ball, and make sure that when they have got possession, they don't panic with it, and they learn to handle the pressure a little bit better. But I expect more of them, and I think they can play a lot better.
Well, let's go to a man now, Rocky, who never panics, Mr. 1 to 10, Graham Campbell.
Don't say that, Ken. I've given up tonight, incidentally, folks. I think Sturt will win. I'm not saying that because I've got their reserves coach here, Stephen Trigg. It's a little known fact of football life that you are the reserves coach at Sturt this year.
Oh, I like it that way, to approach it with a little bit of an undercover feeling. It gives me a little bit of freedom if I do things wrong, probably.
Yeah, Steve, you've been associated with Central District as captain some 2 or 3 years ago, and you bobbed up at North for a couple of seasons. What brought about the appointment at Sturt?
Well, I had last year out of footy completely, other than being involved at the college, and I really thought that I wanted to become involved in some fashion in coaching, and when the Sturt job came up, I thought I'd have a go at it because I really wanted to stay involved in the league game somewhere along
environment.
The line. Yeah, and I applied for the job and it came off, so I was very pleased about it.
And Steve, you always wanted to coach?
Well, since I retired, I have. Perhaps the first 12 months I didn't, but then in the next 12 months I really got some pangs to really get back involved, and at the moment I must say I'm loving it.
Now you are retired as a player, and how old are you?
Oh, I'm old enough. I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to go back on and play anymore. I retired from the game because I've got a bad groin injury, and it's not really one of those things that gets better with rest or anything. So I think I'm better to let sleeping dogs lie and leave it at that.
Right. You've killed my follow-up question. Are you going to play this year? No.
The answer is no.
That's definite. Now tonight, in the reserves, we noticed you snuck in a player named Paul McWilliam.
Paul McWilliam is a very good player, and it was a bonus for us tonight to have a look at him, and I think that he's 99% certain of coming back to us this year, and that is a bonus for us because he displayed tonight in a very short time we saw him that he's a very, very polished player.
So he's back for good, Steve?
I think so. I spoke to him after the game and he said that he was almost dead certain to come back.
Well, Steve, good luck in your coaching career.
Thank
you.
And
it will be a career, I dare say, and all the best for the following games.
Thank you, Graham, very much.
bounce it. Third quarter just underway. The bounce down by umpire Max Kazakria has ended up on the bottom of a pack of players, and umpire Dave Bennett will call for another bounce. Your commentator is Rocky Roberts.
Thanks, Ken. 40-point advantage to the Double Blues. Who would have thought it for the game? Even contest we predicted. Not to be. Can the Warriors handle the pressure a little better and get back? On the ground, Alexander in that second quarter, and has played beautifully since he's come on the ground. That's his 6th kick, and he's picked them up all over the place. Good use of the ball normally. Clem, quick to get the crumb, did it well. Newton with it now, goes back to Detman. Warriors try and set up. Fuller underneath it, might take it, not quite. Whittlesey desperate, goes the punch, McGowan. Goal-kicking Wigman, plenty of pace, looked very fit early in the season, picks it up long. Underneath it was Nuski, well spoiled. Painter. O'Keefe puts it up high. Detman underneath it, punches to ground. Probably should have taken it, not spoken to, but they get away with it. Coming out Lynch now, puts it over the top. On the far side of the ground is Darren Grant. Short through the centre of the ground, is accurate, and that finds Harper.
Harper up towards half forward they go. Oh, good mark here has been taken by Reynolds in defence for the Double Blues. That's more like young Reynolds. Handball's off. Back towards the centre of the ground, but it's all Woodville back here. The kick came from Gribble, but a good mark by Jolly. He's copped one in the thigh, which has stung him a bit. He's looking for options to give the ball away. That's hurt. He goes out wide. End of a corky, I think. Thumped away by Bartlett. In towards centre half forward for the Warriors. Kukula. Klug, a high tackle. Over to Tottenham, and it's home. Woodville their first goal after half-time.
Yes, the Warriors really needed that one. Stuart Tottenham did it well, and John Klug was the player. I thought he was grabbed a little high here. He was just around the top of the shoulder, but very accurate handball off. Under pressure, and Tottenham no trouble from about 10 or 15 metres out. Let's have a look at the tackle again. Gribble was the tackler. It was a bit hard to see, but it was definitely high, but nevertheless the advantage would have been there anyway. Goal on the board.
And they need it. The Warriors, 4-7-31. They lead the Double Blues 10-5, or at least trail the Double Blues 10-5-65. Well, Kevin Higgins would be very pleased with that. Garth Newton dances around, gives the ball back on that occasion to John Martins. His kick is long to half forward underneath it. Great take by Tricula under a lot of pressure from Darren Williams. Let's have a look at that in replay.
Yes, Tricula under a tremendous amount of pressure, as you call it, Rocky. He would have got a free kick anyway. And this young bloke's impressed me tonight. He really has.
They need 3 marks, 3 kicks. The big fella. Ex-New South Wales player, represented the state up there. About 45 metres from goal. Little want his best kick. Sets it up, it's not bad. That's his first.
It was a strong mark by Tricula under a tremendous amount of pressure. And the more I see this young man, the more that he impresses me. He's big, he's strong, and he kicks a country mile, as we see here. And that's a good start by Woodville in this third quarter. They've been playing only 3.5 minutes. And they've booted 2 goals. That may lift the spirit of the Woodville side.
.65 plays 37, and Randall Jolly off the ground for the Warriors after that heavy knock, and Darren DeBrenny taking his place. Radbone working hard. Clem over the top of it, stifled. And again, it'll be a bounce down, this time just forward of centre as far as Sturt are concerned. But Leonard on the interchange bench, waiting to come on, take his place on the ground again. It looks like Reynolds will be relieved of his task. Kick forward by Phil toward the half-forward line. Underneath the ball is Colin McDonald, a good mark. McDonald hasn't been on the ground long. Puts the ball towards centre half-forward. Woodville player down in the centre of the ground. Over the top of the ball, heavy body work. Clem came in. The soccer off the ground by Cronin, gained a few valuable yards. That's beautiful work by Gribble. Nice work. The kick wide towards centre wing. over the top, David Eye. Does it well, the handball wide to McGowan. Oh, he could have taken it, decided to try and pass it on to Sutterby. Now goes back, and he's got pace to get away and half forward left flank. Puts it in toward the goal square. Nusky, the flyer, he's got it. Oh, he's hit high too. Let's see what Max Kazakria does about it.
Let's have a look at it in replay, and under a lot of pressure, there's not a lot there. Des O'Dwyer didn't really make serious contact, and I think Graham Nusky is just looking for a 15-metre penalty back.
Well, he caught me out, that's for sure. Having had a look at it in the replay, Neville, you're dead right. He's done it twice tonight, thrown the head around when there was no contact made, so a good decision by the umpire. Nusky, fourth kick, and a goal.
Graham Nusky playing an impressive game at full forward. That's his third goal, fourth mark, prepared to come out on a lead. And as we said at the half-time break, I don't think it's any accident this player is the focal point of the Double Blues attack every time they go forward, or at least when they've got some run into their forward line and not under pressure. This man usually ends up with it. Graham Nusky, 3 goals and a dangerous forward.
Umpire David Elliott about to start proceedings once again, and Nusky's impressed me at full forward. She had a lot of weight from last year. Looks a lot more mobile and has a very strong pair of hands. Bounce down, lean it to Cooler. Chance McDonald ran past the football, then tried to go back in after it again. But this time, a pack of players had fallen over the football. And umpire Dave Elliott there. Useful cricket on his heyday too, David. Play for the Double Blues, an all-rounder, medium pacer. Lennon takes the football, kicks towards half forward. Chance for Grant now in the back pocket. It sits for him, then breaks away onto his right boot, goes across the base of goals. The chance for David Eye, sits for him perfectly. Back to Painter. Now watch this bloke use the footy. John Painter kicks up towards full forward. Into the square it goes. Off hands and through for a minor score. He put that kick beautifully. Kick number 12 to Painter. Put it right into the square.
Oh, gee, Darren Grant's kick across the face of goals was always going to be a dangerous one because he couldn't go wide as he would have liked, and it ended up with Painter and almost a goal. The kick in comes away. Harper kicks the ball down toward the centre wing. De Brenny back onto the ground. Onto the left boot. The short pass is good. And Harper takes it off the top of the pack. Here's a chance for Woodville as he gets Klug. Klug is about 45 out toward the goal. He's well offline. Reynolds is back there, and the goal umpire indicates a minor score. Woodville go to 5-8, Sturt 11-6.
At the other end of the ground, Darren Grant is picking up O'Keefe, so it seems that Richard Champion is off the ground. Crosslever trying a few things. Cronin going to a wing, just trying to get a lift. Alexander. He's quick, nippy, wants to get on with it quick. Does just that, gives it to Kim Bartlett. His kick towards half forward. Big fellas go up, ball to ground, first to it. Beautifully Crum Painter, hips it in front of him. How good's that? Handball was just a little bit tight to field. And also doing that well was Lunn. Got in between the player and the ball, and he took a free kick and go on with it, trying to force the run on. Cronin back to Lunn, is good as the Warriors go forward again. Towards half-back, the kick's misdirected and Kim Bartlett in the way.
Kim Bartlett playing centre-half back tonight, goes towards Scott Field. The ball goes out of play in front of the grandstand. Scotty Field appealed for a free kick. Boundary umpire, Scotty Field on the wing tonight. Line it. Hands to the football, but it goes out of play. Fellas, I believe this year, in fact tonight, the league decided that the 50-metre line from the goals will be brought into South Australian football in season 1990. I personally don't like it. Perhaps we can get to it a little later. McDonald with the football from centre wing towards half forward it goes. Off the hands of Veal, Klug. In fact, it was Reynolds. Over the top by Walk. Bartlett. Reynolds goes in again. Did that well, Reynolds. Long handball to Eye. Good movement by the Double Blues out of defence. That's been their pattern for most of the night. Towards half forward it goes. O'Keefe can't take the mark. Detman to McDonald. A wobbly kick up towards centre wing it goes. Clem from behind. Reynolds, Newton, a chance now for Martin. Bounds away, uses his pace, has a bounce, he'll straighten up, should take his time. Kicks towards goal. Strike me, Pinky's missed him. about 35 metres directly in front, Bucky, and they can't afford to miss those.
Well, they need them, Ken, but the interesting thing about that was they didn't have anyone chasing him. Both Greg Whittlesey and Kim Bartlett gave up the chase and thought, well, this is a goal. He had no one within 15 or 20 metres of him. He could have stopped to a walk and kicked it, but he decided to go through for a point. Lean it across the field. Bill wide toward Lennon. Beautiful pickup, very low to the ground. Nice kick toward the half-forward area. Deep in the pocket, Veal has got pace. He's picked it up, puts it toward the goal front, right across the face of goal. And Nuski's there, but the ball has beaten him to the boundary line. Live at Football Park on Nine's Wide World of Sports. We're 10 minutes just over that into the third quarter. 5-9 Woodville, Sturt are 11-6.
In the forward pocket for the Warriors, at least for the double Blues at least. O'Dwyer, full back, pushes it out. What a nightmare evening on Nuski. Ball's coming beautifully to that player. Lennon took the kick out. Whittlesey puts it in high. On a lead, doing it well as O'Keefe. Plenty of method there as they come in now, the Blues. But that's really hurting the Warrior defence. He's kicked one. He kicked that on Champion. Now Darren Grant on the ground, came on at three-quarter time. Willie's fourth kick. He's hit the post. And, just a bit of bad luck. Wouldn't be happy with that. He would have loved that one. 11-7-73, the Blues. They lead Woodville 5-9-39. We've played 11 minutes of the third quarter.
A lot of good players for the Double Blues tonight as Detman takes the mark in the back pocket, plays on quickly towards centre wing he goes. Good mark on that occasion has been taken by Grant. The running player is McDonald, has a bounce. Centres the football towards centre half forward, looking for the big man in Newton. Got his hands to the ball, couldn't complete the mark. Chance once more for the Warriors to Klug. Oh, here's a chance for Woodville, but coming out there on that occasion was I. Scored it beautifully to McGowan. Sturt superb in defence, back towards the half-back flank. Off hands. Told him a chance. He's tackled, sat upon, Cronum with a hurried handball away. Sturt again coming out of defence. Back towards Bartlett. Chance now for Alexander, who's played well since coming onto the ground. Oh, top mark, Radbone. Plays on, grabbed it like a vice. Up towards the forward pocket. Veal will get a free kick. Yes, he will. Paid to advantage of it. No, it hasn't. It perhaps should have been, but they're a very hard decision to call. The Blues supporters don't like it, but that was fair enough from where I sat.
Well, they wouldn't have liked it if O'Keefe had kicked a point as well, I'm sure. But, yeah, the umpire had his eyes on the play. Veal went down, the free kick, and the umpire took his eyes off the play and didn't see that O'Keefe was going directly at goal. So the decision was a right one, and nothing to say that O'Keefe would have kicked a point, and then they would have liked the ball back.
Veal now towards the golf course end. It's coming back. Oh, what a magnificent kick. It's home, another goal.
You see the ball coming in, lovely mark by Radbone, very strong hands. He's on centre wing to half forward, puts the ball down toward the lead. The lead was offered by Veal, and he went forward with the body. O'Keefe came from behind. Let's have a look at that kick again. Beautiful mark taken by Radbone. For a little fella, got up really high and put the ball in, and the free kick was obvious. 39 plays 79.
79 plays 39, 40-point advantage again to the Double Blues. It's a long time since they've been in this type of commanding position. I'm sure all the players out there would be enjoying it. Whittlesey battling hard again. Clem on the ground. Alexander again, plenty of touches that player. 8th touch, Lynch comes out to meet the ball. Gives Detman the advantage. He'll be able to run with the foot. He does. Is told to do it a little bit more by McDonald. Carries the ball with his 6th kick just over centre wing. Nicely crumbed by Walk. McGowan. On the far side, looked like Gribble. Now Painter, natural left footer, will be able to chip the ball back in. Open the face of goal he does. Plenty of Warrior players there. Veal fights hard. Lunn on the ground, unmistakable with that left knee bandage. And another ball up.
Sturt into attack again. 14 minutes into the third quarter. They really have played excellent football tonight, and their coach Kevin Higgins would be very, very happy about proceeding so far as umpire Max Kazakria. Ball for a bounce. Eye getting up in the bottom of the pack. Bounce down. There you go. Clem working hard for the football. Taps it out. Chance for Lund. Oh, gee whiz. What he's trying to do there, obviously go towards the safety of the line, but it wasn't very positive football. Scotty Field waiting to come on. He's only been off for about 2 or 3 minutes. He waits to come on.
Boundary throw in, Ruckman, Trakula and O'Keefe. O'Keefe gets the second go. That puts it across to Eye. Can't get the ball away. Tottenham's got it, has to get rid of it quickly. David Eye in there, peeling for the free kick. Over the top of the ball, Detman does it well to O'Dwyer. Handball wide, they're keeping it well out in that pocket as they have to. McDonald across to Schwarz. Schwarz is on half-back flank. Puts the ball towards centre wing. Klug underneath the ball. Oh, Bartlett, good mark. Gee, I've been impressed with him. They come away through Gribble towards centre half forward. The kick a little offline and Colin McDonald mops it up. The kick wide towards centre wing. Cronin leads in the race for the ball. With him from behind Lennon. Now, what decision will the umpire make here? Let's have a look. Next, Kazakria comes in, holding the ball. Well, that's an interesting one, Neville.
I have no argument with that one. He actually was over the top of the ball. It wasn't moving, so he really had the decision whether to pick it up or not, and full control of it. It was the right decision by Kriya. Next, Kazakria with the ball. O'Keefe playing well now at centre half forward. In high, but over the back was Leach. The defence of Woodville plenty to do at the moment. He sends it wide, puts pressure on Klug into open spaces, but they need to get it through there. This time, maybe. They do. O'Dwyer right up from full back. And in the way, taking a nice mark going the wrong way was Gribble against Dabrini. Goes on with it quickly. Chips short with his 5th kick. Lena. Looks like involved in guerrilla warfare with those patches under his eye. And for the viewers, that's really to get rid of the sheen or the glare, at least, on your cheekbones. Clem now goes through the centre of the ground. His target was John Martin. He's interfered with him to receive a free kick. No one in the forward line. If he can move it up quickly, a real opportunity for the Warriors. In it goes. Jakovic the target with his 7th kick on a lead. Almost taken. Reynolds mops up. Caught with the ball by Cronin. Good decision, David Elliott. No holding the ball there.
Well, Jakovic and Klug matched each other up on that occasion. They both went for the mark. The Sturt lead by 40 points. 17 minutes into the 3rd quarter. Lennon, who's had a bottle today, has tackled. But tonight, should I say, Harper. Here's a chance for Klug now. Onto the left boot. Will it come back? One on the goal umpire. Yes, it's a goal.
Good goal by John Klug, his first. Onto the left boot he went. The tackle applied here. The quick handball out by Ron Fuller. Across to Harper. And Harper goes wide. Picks out Klug on the left boot. Just had time before the tackle came to snap truly in that position. For a big fellow on your left boot, your unnatural foot, that's a good effort. He's put it through with his 8th kick and reduces the margin to 34.
The Warriors strike back through Klug. 45, they trail Sturt 79. Half forward again for the Warriors. 17 minutes, 3rd quarter. Here on Nine's Wide Water Sports, we cover the Foundation Cup live every Friday and Monday evening through the 5 rounds. Walk towards centre wing. Alexander underneath it. Knocked forward. Coming through strongly, Newton bounces off Alexander, gets a quick boot to it. McGowan spoilt by Clem, but not before he held it long enough, says umpire Elliott. That's Renfrey. Over to Walk. He goes long, grandstand side. Lund comes to meet it. Cronin likes to use his left foot. And he's caught holding the ball, no doubts about that one. But would you know it, it's Greg Whittlesey, the last player on the ground you'd want to try and run around with his 8th kick. Tumble punt and finds Garth Newton.
Garth Newton at half-back. His 5th mark. Kick number 8 for the big man. Up towards half-forward it goes. Lean it there, thumped away by Clem, then crumbed it well. Run through centre half-forward. Looking out there for Jakovic. With him is Burke. Jakovic, Burke, watch him go. Jakovic does it cleverly. Wheels back onto the left boot towards full forward it goes. But it's all stirred here through Reynolds. Reynolds in turn. Goes out the way of Walk. David Walk back towards centre wing. Whittlesey's there, so is Alexander. Lund. A chance once more for Sturt. This is Renfrey. Lund goes in, down Lund goes. Body's going everywhere at the moment, and finally umpire David Elliott will call for a bounce. Centre wing grandstand side. 19.5 minutes into the 3rd quarter.
In the margin, 34 points. in favour of the Double Blues. The bounce down on centre wing. Newton was up, got the tap away, comes to Clem. Over the top of the ball is Cronin now. Puts it back toward the half-forward area. The tumble punt makes it hard for the forwards. Harper spoils the ball away. Coming through, working hard is Schwarz, keeping it in front of him. What's he going to do? Tries to get the handball across. A good one to Jakovic. Jakovic to goal, and he's put it through for his third.
Good running effort by the Warriors with his 7th kick. Schwarz in particular here as he keeps the ball ahead of him under a lot of pressure. Firstly from O'Keefe and then from Burke. Managed to get it over to Jakovic, and around goal Jakovic is very, very dangerous. Let's have a look at Schwarz again. Plenty of pace there. Had to bend over to control the foot. He was going to tap it forward. Saw Burke in the way at least and decided to take possession. Handballed over the top. They're the sorts of goals that full forwards just love.
12-7 plays 7-9. Warriors coming back a little bit at the Double Blues. Leonard goes up high, got his hands to the football. Fuller over the top to McDonald, who's played pretty well since coming onto the ground. Kick number 7. Scrambly stuff it out aside. DeBranny, here's another chance for the Warriors. Went without the football was Harper. Back onto the right boot, back towards the full forward. Jakovic can't complete the mark. Then Alexander going in hard for the Blues. They're working hard in the back pocket. Burke is there. Trying to get the ball out is McGowan. Loses the football. A chance for Cronin. Cronin back towards full forward. Off hands. Heavy body work back there. Clem ran past the football. Sturt coming out of defence towards McGowan. He'll be tackled by Cronin. It's a good tackle. Loses the football. That was well done by Cronin. Onto the left foot, into the pocket, looking for Clem, and he finds that play. Clem now, as the Warriors go towards the lake end. Oh, kicks into the man on the mark. Do you mind? McGowan back towards centre wing. They're messing about the Warriors. Newton there, not favoured by the bounce, taken by Fuller. What will they do now? Fuller goes out wide, looking for McDonald, and he marks.
Oh, McDonald wastes no time, puts the ball long toward the goal front. That's the sort of kick. Right up it goes, almost a mark from behind. Not paid to Kim Bartlett, and Klug still had a chance at the balls that ran through Bartlett's legs, but eventually out of bounds. Since the Warriors are more urgent in the last couple of minutes, they've had chances. Live at Football Park and Nine's Wide World of Sports, almost at the end of this third quarter. The margin 28 points in favour of Sturt. The kick around the body by Klug toward the goal front, but well offline, and the goal and boundary umpire have a look at each other and decide eventually it'll be a kick in from that full back position, back pocket, and Burke to pull it in. He's got to go back and take the kick again. Time running out in this third quarter for the Warriors.
A better quarter for the Warriors though. They've kicked 4 goals, and the Double Blues have only managed 2. Much better endeavour, and compared to that second quarter where they were outscored 6 goals to 2 from behind. Almost a Warrior mark, not quite. Alexander again picking up plenty of touches. That's his 9th since coming on halfway through the second quarter. Painter, his handball doesn't quite make the distance to eye. Fuller goes back to Detman, gives him the face of the ground. Darren Clark playing from centre half back. Chip short. Martin was his target. Oh, blind to Lennon's tackle. Got around Tottenham. They mop up the Warriors and force it forward again. Not tidy, but underneath it, Harper. That's all you have to do as he dances around. Gets it over to Klug. He runs into the goal. The big fella doesn't miss for his second.
No, good work then by Klug, as Harper did it well in the forward pocket. See the ball coming in there. Harper takes a fine mark. Thought about the kick, sold the dummy, gave a handball to Klug, who really hasn't made the most of his opportunity tonight. But on that occasion, he makes no mistake.
Been well held by Kim Bartlett. 57 plays 79, a 22-point margin at the end of this third quarter. And we're almost 24 minutes into it. Over the top of the ball, working hard was McGowan. Pretty heavy body work. I do feel Woodville working harder in this last part, the latter part of this third quarter. Marked by Clem and a 50-metre penalty. Max Kazakria has paid the first 50-metre penalty of the evening against Nigel Grivell. He looks pretty happy about it, but that's a big 50 metres, Max. That's enormous. Oh, he's taking him right down their cage. That's a long 50 metres.
That's about 450 metres back. He's no land agent.
There's no problem with the goal for that one, and the margin now reduced to 16 points, and it's a real game here at Footy Park.
Well, Russell Ebert would have called for a real effort at half-time, disappointed by being outscored 6 goals to 2 in that second quarter. But this quarter there's been something like 8 goals scored, and it's been a real big effort by the Warriors to get back. Clem there being interfered with, 50-metre penalty resulted from it. And gee, they really hurt you. They can cut you up, put you right in front of goal, and Clem kicks his first.
Well, a game of footy on their hands now, as Sturt lead by 16 points. 25 minutes gone, third quarter. The bounce down. Leonard goes up high. The Warriors again through Harper towards half forward. Back towards John Martin. Over towards Clem. They're going to chance again. Over towards Jakovich. Will he kick a goal? Yes, he has. And the Warriors are back in business. His 4th goal, Bundy.
Well, he was on the end of a chain of handballs, and the Warriors are up and running. Now, there's a pack of players in there congratulating each other. As we have a look, the handball came across to Clem, across to Jakovich. Didn't know whether to go for it or wait. Waited was the wise move. Got it and then snapped truly with the left boot. And the handballs were good. They were crisp. It was the one of the few occasions tonight that the Warriors have really got their handball going well. The last one wasn't quite as perfect as they would like, but nevertheless, a goal on the board.
Shows you how dangerous the Warriors are when they get it forward. Only 10 points behind the Double Blues now. What a fight back. They had as much as 40 points, the Double Blues. And it's really been... they've been getting that ball through centre half forward and getting it through the middle of the ground rather than pushing it out to the flanks and pockets. This is full time, 3/4 time at least here at Football Park.
Yes, the good third quarter by the Warriors, particularly that last 8 or 9 minutes when they started to get some system into their play, used the ball better, and of course have now come within kicking distance of the Double Blues.
3/4 time, the Double Blues 12-7-79, Woodville 10-9-69, a 10-point margin. We'll take a break and be back with the final quarter shortly.
Welcome back to Football Park, and there you see the scoreline at 3/4 time. Sturt 12-7-79, Woodville 10-9-69. A good quarter by Woodville. They kicked 7 goals to Sturt's 2, and they trail by 10 points at 3/4 time. The main goal kickers, Villas booted 4 for Sturt, Nuski 3 and McGowan 2, and for the Warriors, Jakovich 4 and Klug 2. Well, Graham Campbell, that was a great quarter by the Warriors. What got them back into the game? How did they do it?
Well, Ken, quite frankly, they got the breaks that quarter. I mean, that 50-metre pull, I guess it was there, but that's a break in football also that helped the Warriors. And generally speaking, they were able to find each other with the ball finally. And it's taken 3 quarters to do it, but it had to come, I guess. And let's not forget, Ken, that is a very strong breeze. Don't worry about that.
It certainly is, Graham, but I think the Woodville were far more positive in that third quarter, and they used the ball a lot better than was the case in the first half where they zigzagged across the ground.
And Ken, I thought Colin McDonald showed the way.
Yes.
Those long kicks. I mean, he's probably as good a kicker as is in league football in this day and age, Colin McDonald. He really launches the ball from that half-back flank, and his left foot kicking over this side of the ground when caught in a sort of a difficult situation was good to watch.
Well, Graham, of course, he is a state footballer. Yep. He was lost to the scene there for a while, but he certainly is a fantastic player. Graham, you made the point when we were talking about Sturt in the opening game when Lennon was placed in the middle. I've got to ask you this question. You said that no, in no way, in your opinion, is Lennon a centreman. Have you changed your mind now?
Well, Ken, look, he's making a good fist of the job, but I don't think he's a true centre man because the size of the lad really doesn't lend for that position. Yeah, and I don't think he's quite as two-sided as I would like a centre line player to be. Nonetheless, he's done a good job tonight. I can't argue that. But, gee, that goal he kicked in the second quarter, you're referring to that, are you?
Yeah, it was a fantastic goal, wasn't
If he could mark kick-ins and kick long goals every time like that, well, he'd be more than an asset. But I still feel he'll be better suited as a centre-half back and or the full-back role because, to me, that's the style of play that he is.
Graham, we've learned tonight that at the league meeting tonight, they've introduced the 50-metre semicircle from the goals, indicating that the player is taking the kick 50 metres from goal. Do you like that rule?
Well, frankly, I don't, Ken, no. I just think there's too many lines on the ground now, to be honest. It can be a bit confusing, but on the other side of the ledger, it's a good guide for people at home watching the game on TV, exactly how far out a player is. That, I guess, is an indication that our people here would like people to realise.
Yeah, but it's messy, Graham, isn't it?
It is a bit messy, Ken, only because there are a lot of lines on the field now as it is. And when you put the mini-league goalposts on the line and all that stuff as well, I wonder, you won't know where you are.
Have us in the ruck duels tonight, Graham?
Pretty much...
line ball?
Yeah, line ball, Ken. No one's really won out, I don't believe. Brett Liner probably fractionally in front with some of his knockdowns, but generally speaking, neither big fella has taken charge around the ground.
What about Bartlett's performance at centre-half back on Big Klug tonight?
Yes, serviceable. You know, I mean, Klug's had his chances to be a good player tonight. Hasn't finished his work off with disposal, or his hand and feet disposal tonight hasn't been as good as he would wish, and certainly not. Russ Liebert would expect better also.
Young McGarren's an exciting player for Sturt, Graham, isn't he?
Well, I really like fellas with pace, Ken.
Yeah.
Pace is the key to good football these days, and Chris McGowan's got bundles of that, and a couple of the goals he kicked us, sensational
Fantastic,
stuff.
weren't they?
And he's in the back line 5 minutes ago, if you don't mind. I mean, he's so quick. He gets caught up with the flurry, hurly-burly of play and finishes up in a back pocket. That can be a wee bit confusing for his opponent, no doubt.
Yeah, I thought Woodville's defence was a lot better in that quarter, Graham. You made the point about Colin McDonald. I thought they tightened up in defence in that quarter.
Oh, no question about that, Ken. Look, but the thing ran for them. They had the breeze, and I fear it's a Sturt win now. I hate to go back on my selection, but I have to.
OK, Graham, now what margin the double blues, old son?
Dare I say it, about 31 to 40, I think, because that breeze is strong, Ken.
OK, Graham, that's Graham Campbell, Mr 1 to 10. Now back to the little fella, Bucky Cunningham.
Oh, we're set for a great last quarter here, and Sturt have led every break. They led by 10 points at quarter time. A big margin, 40 points at half time, and the margin at three-quarter time is just 10 points. And a couple of old fuddy-duddies, aren't they, Neville, those two, the oldies? They don't go for these new lines across the ground. They're for the old stuff, aren't they?
No, they'd never get on in the States with all the razzmatazz of gridiron football, but I suppose they've got a reasonable point, but there's enough lines on the ground at the moment. I can only see a couple. But
there's a big white one around the outside.
There's a nice circle in the middle. That's not too bad.
Excuse me, guys. My solicitor has heard that conversation. You'll hear from him tomorrow morning first thing.
79 plays 69. Umpire Dave Dilly holds the ball aloft. A real test for the young Sturt side. They've got the breeze in this quarter, bear that in mind, but the Warriors are up and running. The quick tap down, the kick comes away. Schwarz takes it, the first kick of this quarter into the half-forward area. Klug underneath the ball, Bartlett spoils it away. The run provided, picked up by Harper, back to De Brenny toward the goal front. Back there's a chance. Jakovic's got his hands to it, couldn't control the mark, and well played by Burke. Away he comes with a handball, wide, it wasn't to the body. Working over the top of the ball is Field, gets it away, looking for, that's Williams, he's caught holding it. No, the umpire indicates it's held to his chest.
Let's have a look at that again as Darren Williams goes to ground, and if there was a holding the ball rule, that certainly exemplifies it. Reynolds pushes the ball down to his right to the wrong rover in Clem. Ball's virtually chucked out free. Martin with it. Have to take the ball back. Free kick to De Brenny. Interfered with as he got rid of the ball then. Just forward of centre. Sends it in long. Over the back was Harper. Newton there forward. Whittlesey. Quick kick out of defence. In front. Bauer. Number 16. I think it's Darren Bauer there. John Painter in your screen. Peter Schwarz comes in. Another bounce. Ball down. Tricula. De Brenny. Painter. Quick kick. Player playing in front was Lund, did that well, got it to McDonald. Got a chance here now to set up as they go in. Newton's the target, the ball comes in high, has to ball from behind. Good work by the forward. Fuller, chips short. Looking for Klug. Puts a lot of pressure on this player. How often do they do that? Playing just a little wide. Bartlett from half-back clears for the Blues.
Up towards half-forward. I think he's played a good game tonight at centre half-back, young Bartlett. Over towards Sutterby. Now a chance for the double Blues. Up towards full forward. Will it carry one on the goal umpire? No. Slightly astray. Only a minor score to the double Blues. Woodville 10-9-69. Bail the double Blues 12-8-80. 2 minutes into the final term. The kick-off is not good. It doesn't find Cronin. Can he recover? He can. He does it cleverly, Cronin. Supported by Lynch. Over the top to De Brenny. De Brenny over to a Woodville player on that occasion. It's Tottenham, I think it is. Back towards Tricula. He loses the football, so does Painter. Fuller. They're using the ball a lot better, the Warriors. They really are since halfway through that third quarter. Colin McGowan played a boomer at half-back. A chance for Jakovic. He's got plenty of pace. Kicks, but inaccurately and out of bounds on the full. Well, Bucky, in the first 3 minutes of this last term, they've had numerous opportunities.
They surely have, and Alan Jakovic had the chance. John Klug let him know without a shadow of a doubt that he wanted the ball handballed over, and I think Jakovic has got the message. The kick comes away from the back pocket position. Thumped away, comes out to Klug again. Back toward McDonald. Kicks the ball long toward the goal square area, still about 30 metres out. The tap off the back, it comes to Harper. Over the top of the ball, handball away. And Jakovic, in fact, it was. Got it across, Painter did it well, and Gribble mops it up. Puts it out wide toward the half-back. Flank good mark by Cronin. Strong mark, and the Warriors will go back into attack. Side steps nicely, goes toward the goal front area. Harper's there, uses the body. Did he use it effectively? Got the player out. The umpire didn't call for a free kick, so it must have been.
It was a free kick, Bucky. It was certainly used illegally, in my opinion.
Comment Ken Cunningham, not necessarily shared by his associates in the commentary position. Bounced down by David Elliott. Reynolds threw strongly there. It was Darren Williams, and Reynolds will have at least David Elliott will have another bounce. He shared the honours with Max Kazakria tonight, and they've done a pretty good job. Newton pats it back through Painter's legs, interfered with Jakovic. He in turn interferes with Painter. That one will be seen. And the full forward not happy about that.
Watch this in replay. Painter being harassed by Jakovic. The free kick was certainly there. There's no two ways about that. He was lucky he didn't give away a 50-metre penalty kick in the interim.
15th kick, Painter, as he takes play across the ground, grandstand side. He do it effectively, not quite. Darren Bauer was his target. But making sure that didn't come off was Alex Lund, the veteran defender. And, did a good job. Played 104 games, Lund, to double Blues by 11 points.
Throw in, Klug contesting the throw in. A chance for Lund. Lund tries to get rid of the football. De Brenny comes in, taken by Fuller. Back towards Tricula. Tricula, a handball goes back towards De Brenny, puts him in all sorts of trouble. Finally, Sturt try and steal it from Lennon. He copped a high tackle. That was a fortunate one. I thought he ducked their head, but he gives a handball to Whittlesey. Whittlesey towards half forward it goes. Over the top of the pack. Grant has Cronin loose, or Clem. Oh, hesitation. A free kick will be paid to Cronin. He was held without the football. And the Warriors will go back in. They only trail by 11 points. A goal here would be very, very handy indeed. Back towards Detman. He can't gain possession. I can. He's flanked by Painter. Painter from the half-back flank. He'll use the football. Straight to the chest of Scottifield, who's off, and handballs away. He should have waited and taken his kick, and handballs, the ball goes out of play.
And Bucky, every time the double Blues get into a tight situation late in the game, you'll always see John Painter getting a lot of kicks.
Yes, tremendous player, Painter. Has been for years and years, and Sturt are lucky to have him again this year. He almost had an exchange overseas, I believe, but he's playing. He's out there tonight and doing his best, which is great work. Lennon goes long toward the goal square, over the back. Nuski, all he's got to do is pick it up. Oh, he can't. One grab, now he's got it. The handball away to Veal. Veal back towards Bauer. His high kick. That's no 10 metres, won't be marked. The tap eventually goes through the Woodville defence. In the end, get it through for a minor score. So Sturt had plenty of chances. They tend at this stage, Neville, I think, to be the Sturt side to be panicking a little bit.
Well, they've been put under pressure, and it's just really been a shift of load. The Warriors have been able to steady a bit. They've come back, kicked a few goals, and suddenly the pressure's come off them. A bit of confidence, a bit of run. They're handling the ball a bit better. The mistakes have disappeared, and now it's Sturt that have really got to steady and see what they're made of. Good test for the double Blues, and one that Higgins would like, and one that a hit out this time of year will really give him an indication of the types of players he's got. Sturt lead by 12 points. We've played 6 minutes, nearly 7 of the final quarter in the last game of the second round of the Foundation Cup as Lennon. Not a two-sided player. It's not a bad left foot kick, Graham. The ball goes into the forward line, into the open goal. Rathbone, great goal.
Yes, that was a steadier there for the Double Blues. Rathbone, kick number 7 to Rathbone. Kick came in from Lennon, came off hands. Lynch was there. Rathbone, I ran past the football. Rathbone ran in an open goal. That's a steadier there for the Double Blues.
The margin 18 points, 3 straight goals in favour of the Double Blues. Back in the centre. Up they go. Tricula gets the tap down. Impressive player. Over the top of the ball, working hard with Schwarz, as he always does. Coach Kevin Higgins, the Double Blues, looking concerned. Still got that 3-goal margin. Been winners all night, but Woodville certainly coming back in this second half. The tap out comes toward Martin. Cronin back towards centre half forward. The high ball, Klug was there, tapped away from him. Over the top, Grivell now gets the handball away to no one in particular. Picked up by Schwarz. The chance for the Warriors now as he puts the ball out wide. Looked out there for Klug. Oh, he's a little slow in getting to it. He's got the favour of the bounce. Could have handballed to Jakovic. Went to goal and put it through.
So John Klug kicked 2 goals in the third. This is the first and the last. This will be his 6th, or it's his 11th kick. Dodges beautifully on that occasion to get around Burke. Sized up the goals and put it through for his 3rd. A valuable player, and it appears that when he fires, the Warriors fire, but at all times they just feel, to me it feels they're under pressure getting the ball in there with any sort of system and put that player under too much pressure.
Back in the middle, 12 points the difference. Taken by Sturt. Good game of football in the second half. Clem working hard to Klug. 9 minutes into the final term towards centre half forward. Off hands, a chance now for Newton. Goes back onto his right boot, then his left, straightens up. Can he kick another goal? No, he certainly can't. It was off the side, in fact, out of bounds on the full. Well, they've certainly had their chances in this final term, the Warriors. You see Burke. No relation to Burke's backyard. Off hands it goes. That was a constructive comment, Ken. Lennon with the football. Loses it. And a free kick has been paid to the Sturt Cinnamon, who I think has played a fantastic game. Kick number 12. And 9 handballs. Oh, I takes that mark uncontested. At centre wing out of side. Kick number 7. It's a poor kick. And in fact, John Martin takes the mark. Plays on quickly to Clem. Puts him under the hammer. You think he's not rock and roll? Oh! Up he gets, has a go. Lucky he didn't have the ball taken away from him on that occasion, Clem.
Should have had it taken away from him, Ken.
Darren Bauer comes in. Oh, he hits strongly. He's the ex-Richmond player and certainly used his body effectively then, if not illegally. Tricula is on centre wing, just forward of centre wing for the Warriors. They're really mounting a challenge in this final quarter against the Breeze. Harper from behind, but in front, the mark taken by Alexander. Been a very useful player since coming onto the ground with his 10th kick. Puts the ball back into the centre, saw Leonard by himself. He's got his hands to it, couldn't take the mark. Trying to break through there. Clem over the top of the ball. De Brenny as well. Colin McDonald still working hard. A chance for Detman. Handball wide, Champion under plenty of pressure. Do it nicely. Got it across to Grant. The handball, series of them end up with McDonald. Martin, in fact, it was. The high kick from Martin in toward half forward. Klug waits for the ball. Martin goes back in again. Woodville still working it out. Comes towards Schwarz, the chance to handball off. Tried to go through the pack. Still working over the top. But pretty scrambly work, and I think it made a lot easier for the defence of Sturt.
Gee, Bucky, they won't give the handball up forward, some of those Woodville players. They just won't handball.
Well, it's happened a number of times in that third quarter and in the last, and that may be one of the reasons they're not in front, Ken.
And it's got to be first thought. Something their coach was an absolute expert at, and I'm sure he'll be telling them about it during the week. Centre wing, Champion back on the ground. He replaced Lunn only seconds ago. Around the corner they go. The Double Blues. Lennon there. Had a chance, deep in the left foot pocket, chips it around, tries to open the face of goal. First there is Sutterby, couldn't take it. McDonald helping out, Totham. They go across goal, they want to be sure about what they're doing. Wide to Lynch. They made sure of it, out of trouble. Centre of the ground, Painter leads in the race. First to it was Phil. The veteran left footer chips away, short, and finds Veal. Veal at half forward, kicked 3 goals with his 5th kick. Chips short and finds his little rover in Redbone. So just steadying a little bit now, the Blues. It was pretty tight for the first 12 minutes of this final quarter. And the Warriors really made a plunge at reducing the gap. 8th kick to the little fella, socks down. Let's watch him do it. He has 1 goal to his credit. In he comes. That's his 2nd.
Two goals in this final quarter to Shane Radbone, and that's a good effort, steadying for the Double Blues. They needed it because Woodville kept persisting, kept coming back all the time. But the Double Blues, to their credit, pushing the ball forward, had the use of the breeze in the quarter, and Radbone has been a live wire all night, has worked hard around the packs. He's got plenty of pace and a couple of goals to boot, and a good Rovers game from him.
Back to the centre bounce, 18 points the difference with the Blues in front. Lennon again with the footy, written to the ground. Notices umpire Max Kazakria. Almost 13 and a half minutes into the final term. Live football on Nine's Wide World of Sport. Umpire Max Kazakria always looks immaculate. Garth Newton. Taken by Klug. Oh, Reynolds has his head pulled off, and he'll get the free kick. Reynolds at centre half back. They call him Big Red at Unley. 10th possession. Oh, over the top of Goodmark. On that occasion to Detman. Detman at centre wing out of side. His 16th possession. Hasn't been a bad player for the Warriors tonight. Puts it towards half forward. Harper in front. Almost the mark. Goes in again. A free kick in the interim has been paid. It'll go the way of the Double Blues. Skirt player being held. A bit of a dust up behind play. The player is down. He's caught one. I didn't see who did it. Umpire Max Kazakria is sorting things out, and the free kick will be taken from the outer side of the Double Blues. It's Scotty Field being sent behind his mark. So Scott Field to boot the Blues out of defence.
It is 7th kick, Field. We're 14 and a half minutes into the final quarter. The kick into the centre of the ground. Good mark taken by McGowan. In front, strong. Pacey player. 10th kick, wide toward the forward pocket, looking for Radbone. Certainly not the height to mark with Colin McDonald, and Colin just reminding him he was awfully close to the boundary line. It'll be a boundary throw-in at right half forward, about 45 metres around from the Sturt goal. 75 plays 93, an 18-point margin. Just over 15 minutes played. In there, over the top of the ball was Field again, and he's going to get the free kick for a push in the back. So now he's at half forward. Field looking up forward for options. A lead offered by Nuski. Goes in that direction now. Veal is in there as well, and I think he's going to get the free kick. Robert Veal in front of the pack and pushed out of it illegally. And he'll take a free kick from only 15 metres out.
Well, it's pretty obvious in the screen, but whilst they complain about it, Robert Lynch, he was certainly interfered with. Robert Veal.
With his 6th kick. Has 3 goals to his credit. Now he has 4.
It's dangerous forward pocket player. Let's watch it come in from Field. Ball's in high. Keep your eye to the mid-end right of your screen as Lynch flying for the ball. Might not have done it with any real intent. There's no doubt that he was right into the back of Veal, who might have played it up just a tad. But playing out of a forward pocket, it's not a bad thing to do. You can get a few free kicks like that, Ken.
Might be you can con the umpire, Rock. You did it perfectly. 99 plays 75. It's 24 points of difference favouring the Double Blues. It's value for kicks on Veal's part. 6 kicks, 4 goals. De Brenny has the football, kicks around his body. It's all stirred here. Whittlesey, Big Red. Will the ball stay in play? No, it just trickles out of play. Almost in front of the scoreboard. 16 possessions, Whittlesey. Always a fine player. Never seen him play a bad game yet, Greg Whittlesey. His tackling tonight's been a feature of his game. Players working hard for possession. Big Red's there. That's Reynolds. A bit of pushing and shoving by Dave Elliott. 17 minutes into the final term. Oh, the boot went on that occasion. Taken by Gribble. Back towards centre wing. To all the Warriors back here. It's Newton. Handball out to Tottenham. He hasn't got quite where to go. Gives the football to Colin McDonald. His left foot kick towards half forward. The mark has been taken out there by Leonard.
Brett Leonard. He's at half back, puts it back toward the centre wing area. Kick is well placed and a good mark taken by Scott Field, who's having a good final quarter. 3 kicks in this term, puts it into the centre of the ground. Alexander again does well, puts the ball long, the lead offered up forward by Nusky right on the chest. Fine lead. He's 35 metres out from goal. The lead was direct. Graham Nusky lining up. His 5th mark, 5th kick. That's 3 goals to his credit. And a good full forward. He's kicked 4.
Well, as we discussed at half-time, Graham Nusky playing to orders. When the ball comes in, he'll take off. And off and on an angle. Stays within range, always within 30, 40 metres of goal. Did it beautifully on that occasion. And Graham Nusky has kicked 4 goals, 2 in the first, 1 in the third, and 1 in the final quarter.
Umpire Dave Elliott bounces the football, down it goes. Taken by Lennon, over to Radbone, to Painter. That's good work by the Blues. Back to Lennon. That is super football by the Blues. That is champagne football at its best. Great goal to Lennon.
14th kick and his 2nd goal, Bruce Lennon, and he's been a star in the centre of the ground. And John Painter coming off the ground. We'll have a look at this replay. Radbone there, works it out. Across it goes towards Painter. The slick handball to Lennon, running through, and the goal is scored, and the applause as John Painter is relieved of duties for the evening. And coming onto the ground for Sturt is Nigel Miller. Painter had 28 touches, and that was just one of them as he got it across. Slick work, and the kick straight through the centre. A joy to Sturt supporters.
Indeed it is. And the old fella in good form. Well-deserved rest. John Painter. And a very enjoyable play. Lennon to Radbone to Painter to Lennon. Something Blues fans have been waiting a while to see. As Clem pushes the Warriors forward. First to it is Reynolds. He shouldn't be. Radbone again. Plenty of run left in the Blues' legs now as they smell a win. Their 2nd in a row. And it was last year that they managed only the single victory in Foundation Cup. They disposed of Central District last week. And tonight, of course, they'll wind up winners over the Warriors on their way to that $30,000 purse. Martin, Klug and Fuller push it forward. Up high was Newton, couldn't take it. Beautifully crumbed by Field. Plenty of talent there. Played on a wing mostly tonight and picked up plenty of touches. 10th kick, in fact, Bauer. Spent a bit of time on the bench tonight. Alexander is good. Lennon full of run. He's playing well out of the centre. And I know Ken Cunningham agrees with me, but 26 touches. Graham Campbell's not convinced he should be there for lots of good reasons.
Following the Australian Democrats' policy speech, coming your way, coast to coast.
Always enjoyable. Walk, pushes it forward. 9th kick, Nusky again. Easy as you like at the moment. The Warrior defence just taking their minds off the job. It was Robert Veal that made the lead. And my co-commentator's a lot of pleasure in telling me that. I appreciate your help, boys. He's kicked 4. Will he make it 5? Not a problem with that.
Oh, it's nice when you get it right, Neville. There's no doubt about it. It was a good lead, good pass. In the kick comes. It was perfectly put. Now, Sturt have really got this niche. They put it into a direct lead, 30 or 40 metres out from goal. Plenty of space, and that's the skill in itself in creating that space for a forward to lead into. And there's not much you can do about it when the kicks are as accurate as that one was. A good goal, 75. plays 117.
Very impressive performance by the Double Blues once again, so that's 2 out of 2. And Professor Higgins, their coach, as he's commonly referred to, 21, almost 22 minutes gone in the final term, would be very happy tonight. John Martin around his body, back towards centre half forward. Klug comes out, meets the football, drops the mark. Hasn't been his best night tonight. He's a better player than we've seen tonight. It's only early days, recovering from a nasty knee injury, and I'm sure he's going to be a very valuable player for the Warriors in season 1990. 22.5 minutes gone. Reynolds is in there. Scrambling football at the moment. One Fuller there. Johnny Painter, what a fantastic player he's been for the Double Blues. 17 kicks, 11 handballs. Deep in thought there, Jack. Unshaven. Very good player. Got him working hard. Scrambly player at the moment. Comes out towards McGowan. Players trying to get possession and free movement of the football, but that's not forthcoming, and umpire Max Kazakria will call for a bounce.
The margin is 42 points in favour of the Double Blues, and they've done it well this evening. Every change, and even though Woodville mounted a fair assault in that latter part of the third quarter, they've done it well, the Blues. Totham trying to get it out of the centre, working hard. Lennon again, the handball was good. Beating it out wide, coming through Radbone. Over the top of the ball, Gribble, picked up by Bartlett. Lennon again, the chance here as they go forward through Renfrey, down toward the lead, picked up by Veal. The handball back was a little low. Eventually it comes toward Eye, over the top of the ball. Plenty of players. And umpire David Elliott will bounce about 45 metres out from the Sturt goal.
David Elliott in your screen tonight with Max Kazakria. Good early form by those two umpires. Renfrey kicks across ground, tries to find Phil, and that comes off. Didn't achieve a lot of ground, but they certainly kept control of the football. Something they've done pretty well all night, the Blues. A lot of pressure on Warriors. Lead's coming, but Field certainly couldn't kick it from there, but he's going to, well, not quite anyway. I don't know, I'm very confident about that call, boys, as he posts a point, and Des O'Dwyer to take the kick-off.
Des O'Dwyer transfers play, should I say, to the grandstand side. Lennon goes up high, but in the interim he's interfered with a Woodville player. Back towards centre wing to Reynolds. That was Grant. In fact, it was half of it the kick came from. Taken by Bartlett. Back towards centre half forward it goes for the Blues. Off hands. Scrambly football at the moment, and umpire in it. There's a siren to end the final quarter here at Football Park. With Sturt, 18 goals 10, 118, defeating the Warriors, 11 goals 975, a margin of 43 points. And coming up, following the Australian Democrats' policy speech, is Coast to Coast.
Welcome back to Football Park. The final score there, the Double Blues, very, very impressive. 18 goals, 10, 118. Defeating Woodville 11-9-75, a margin of 43 points, the main goal kickers. Ville kicked 5, Nuski 4, 2 each to McGowan, Radbone and Lennon. And for the Warriors, Jakovic 4 and Klug 3. Well, certainly a very impressive performance by the Double Blues, and no doubt their coach, Kevin Higgins, would be a very happy man tonight. In fact, when they left the ground, they left the arena as a complete unit to a big ovation from the crowd here at Football Park. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the game between Woodville and Sturt. Look forward to having you accompany again next Friday night for the big doubleheader at 7:30 right here on Channel 9. Bye, everyone.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.